Hi, in this video I'll be showing you this. It's the Sharp KD NHH9S8GW3-EN tumble dryer. Now there's no way I'm going to try and remember that model number, but anyway, what I want to do is I want to show you some of the features and benefits that the dryer offers. If you haven't subscribed already, then I would appreciate it if you subscribe to my YouTube channel. Just give us a quick thumbs up. Now as brands go, I must admit Sharp isn't a brand we do a huge amount with. We do quite a bit with them on things like microwaves and smaller appliances, but not so much on some of the major domestic appliances like this. When this was available to us, I couldn't quite work out why we seem to have so many website orders. We seem to have quite a few compared to some of the other brands. So we ordered a couple in for stock, and we got one on display now. And really the main reason, and we tended to ask customers, was this. This is the energy label. And clearly being an A++ rating, so being super energy efficient was the key factor, and the fact that really the price for a heat pump tumble dryer is really good. It's a 9 kilogram drying capacity, so there's really a lot going for it. But really the main factor, and at the moment in the UK the energy prices are very high, so what people are trying to do is, if you're buying a say washing machine or a tumble dryer, I forgot where I was there. If you are buying an appliance, then if you can perhaps spend a little bit more on something like this, a heat pump dryer, then the main advantage will be that it will save you money in the long run. Normally I'd mention the energy label at the end of the video if you've followed me on YouTube for a while, but it's such an important factor that what I wanted to do was to talk about it at the beginning. Being an A++ rating means that it is very, very energy efficient on average. So kilowatt hours per annum, 194. If you're not too sure if that's any good or not, compare it to the energy label on some other leading brands and you'll be surprised, and you'll realise how good this one actually is. When you first turn on the dryer, you'll notice that you've got a really nice clear white LED display. I must admit, and even from other brands, I do love that kind of display. It just gives you all the information and it's lovely and clear. Some other brands go with either like a red, or some brands have gone with it like a green colour, but personally I just like the white LED. And around here you've got the program selector. You just got a little LED to indicate which program it is. Now I just want to give you a quick idea as to what some of the programs do and what they offer. You've got the different options around the side here depending on how dry you want the clothes. Now I know some people are thinking, well, I just want them to be dry, but you've got the things like the iron dry, and what this will do is the iron dry option will leave everything slightly damp. So if you wanted to put everything in the dryer, things like shirts or blouses or trousers that you know you want to iron, by leaving them slightly damp, that enables you to take them out, perhaps hang them up or iron them straight away, and it can be so much easier to do that rather than them being completely dry. Things like the cupboard dry, clearly as it says, that enables the clothes to come out straight away and then be put into a cupboard. And you've got super dry, that's even drier setting, and what you'll see on each one, each time we change it, that's making quite a big impact on the time of the program. Now you will find, I suppose, a couple of things to mention. First of all, that the time on here is just an indication to start with. That's not always guaranteed to be the time it will take. I suppose a couple of reasons for that. First of all, it depends on the load that you're putting in. If you only put, say, 3 or 4 towels in there, that would be quite a small load, then that could be a lot quicker than you're putting a full load in of clothes. So if you were to put the full capacity of 9 kilograms in, then it could take up to that time. If you've got a 1,000 spin machine compared to a 1,400 spin machine, then that will make a huge difference as to the amount of water that's extracted from the clothes. Of course, that has a big impact on the drying time as well. Now on these dryers, it has got something called sensor dry, so it will detect the moisture content that's within the clothes. So I suppose that's just explained a little bit about the technology that's involved. But as you come around here, so you've got, first of all, I should have mentioned, these are the cotton settings. So you've got super dry, cupboard dry and iron dry. Now on those ones you can put the maximum capacity of 9 kilograms in there. So don't assume that you can put the maximum 9 kilograms in all of these, because you can't, there are not actually many programs on here where you've got the ability to dry the full load. As you come around here, you've still got the cupboard dry and iron dry option. So with these ones, these are maximum 4.5 kilograms. So you just want to make sure that even though the time is a lot less, that if you are using it for say a full capacity, then personally I'd lean towards some of the top programs up here. Then you've got, again, the iron dry. As you come around here, so you've got the, just see around there, time drying. So this is a really good option, and this is something I'm quite a fan of. I suppose what some people are doing at home is, rather than putting everything in the tumble dryer straight away, they're hanging the clothes up to air for a little bit to get rid of some of the moisture within a room within the house, or even putting them on the line, and then when they are almost dry, then come in and put them in the dryer just to finish off. That's a really good way, because what you'll find is that you remove the majority of the moisture, and it's a lot cheaper to do it that way. Now, I know for some people it's not an ideal solution. If you're in a hurry, then you just want to put everything into the dryer and just put it in straight away and just get it done. But for me at home at the moment, then I tend to put things on an airer in the conservatory, leave it for a bit, and then come and put it in to finish off. And that way it saves a huge amount of time and money on using the tumble dryer. But you do have the option for time drying, and all I was getting at is that with a time drying option, this gets rid of the sensor, because if the clothes are almost dry or even dry, then what you'll find is if you use one of those options, then it won't normally operate properly. So what I wanted to do, once I've hung the clothes out, things like the towels, I'd like them quite fluffy. So if they are dry, and if I've hung them out on the line, or if they're a little bit stiff or a little bit crusty, as one of my boys used to call it, the crusty towels. Sounds a bit wrong, but all I mean is that they're a bit hard when they've been sat on the line. But what you can do is, by selecting the time drying, it forces the dryer to operate for that amount of time. And with that, let's just see how far it goes up to. So you can go up to over 3 hours, so you've got plenty of different options on there. Then you've got quite a few different drying options around here. So you've got the baby care at the bottom, that's maximum 3 kilogram. Duvet is quite a good one. That's quite a common thing that people want to tumble dry, because smaller items are okay. You can hang them up on an area if you wanted to. Things like your duvet cover can be a little bit more difficult because they're quite big. So popping it in the dryer is really good. And some of these specialised programs are a good option, because the way they dry and the way they rotate the drum is different to some of the programs around here. Then you've got things like the super quiet. Now that's a good one if you want to use things like the time delay, just here. So the delay start is an ideal option if you've got things like economy 7, where you want cheap electricity during the night. So with that, you can delay it. Let's just see how far you can go. Normally they're up to 24 hours. Yep, so well, 23 hours, and then it reverts back to the time on the program. Then you've got the mixed load, so that's up to 4 kilograms. Wool care, I know some people think, well, I'm not going to put my woolens in there, but that is on a very low temperature, and that will be up to 1.5 kilograms. Refresh option is normally a good one, so that's just a standard 10-minute program. That's good if you've had something in the cupboard for a while that you're not really sure if you need it to be washed, if it smells perhaps a little bit musty, then just pop it in here for the 10 minutes. And again, it doesn't really use a sensor, that's just a standard 10-minute quick program. Then you've got the Jet Dry 45, so again, that's just a 45-minute program for a maximum of 1 kilogram. And then the shirt's 30, so as it says there, 30-minute program, and that's just for 0.5 kilogram. So as well as having some of the longer programs, then you will find that you've got a handful of short programs as well. So I did mention earlier about the tumble dryer time varying depending on the moisture content and also the load capacity that's within the dryer. Clearly that will make a difference. Something else that some people don't really think about is the ambient temperature that the tumble dryer is sat within. Now heat pump tumble dryers normally one of the first questions that we ask customers, especially when we're in the showroom, is where is the dryer going to be located? I know some people are thinking, well, I've always had it in my house, I've always had it in the garage, I've had a dryer for 20, 30 years, why should it make a difference? Now, because with a heat pump tumble dryer, it does make a difference. What you will find is during, say, a normal temperature, say 10, 15 degrees, then it's not normally an issue. In the UK here, we've had a bit of a cold snap where it's got down to around 1 or 0 degrees centigrade, which is quite cold for us. I know some of you guys watching are going to thinking, well, hang on, we're in temperatures way lower than that. But anyway, for us Brits, 0 is pretty cold. Now, what I was going to say is that if you are using a tumble dryer, say out in a garage or a shed, then personally I wouldn't recommend using a heat pump tumble dryer, because what you will find is that the duration of the program will be so much longer, then it can get quite frustrating. So it's just something to bear in mind anyway. But one thing to show you is when you open the door, you've got the handle on the left hand side here. You've got the metal hinges, so that's something I try and point out. I'm always pleased when manufacturer will put hinges on there. The door catch, that is plastic, but it's less of an issue for me. It's mainly the metal hinge that's on the side there. Filter wise, it's nice and easy to take out. So it's almost 2 parts. So you've got that one there, that just comes out, and then this just splits like that. So it's nice and easy to get the fluff or the lint out of the filter. That just pops back in. As you can see, we've got a drum light in here. Not many brands have that kind of light in there. I know some people look at it and go, well, it's a little bit of a gimmick, but personally I really like it, because on a large capacity dryer like this, there's nothing more frustrating than taking everything out, especially if it's not too light where you are. If you're not got too much ambient light, then you might not be able to see something that's left in there. And then it's really annoying where you come back and you put your next load in, which might be several days later, and you see something sat at the back there that has finished drying. When it comes to emptying the water out the dryer, there are a couple of ways you can do it. Now, I suppose the most popular way that most people will empty the water is via the container. So when it's full, then there will be an indication on the front here that will show you when to empty it. You can either wait until it's empty, or some people tend to empty it after every load or every couple of loads. Now, the only reason I mention that is because it can be a little bit frustrating when you've set the dryer to go, and partway through the drying cycle, if it is full, then clearly it's not going to complete the cycle. So again, that can get a little frustrating if you go to the dryer expecting it to be finished and it's not. So if you try and get into the habit of emptying the dryer, perhaps after every couple of loads, depending on how often you use it, that could be good. Or another way, which could be a very good solution, is using one of these. So this is a cheeky little hose that comes with the dryer, and this is just a drain hose. It just attaches around the back. It's quite an easy process to do. It's all in the instructions. And what this will do is, as long as you've got a separate drain outlet near to the dryer, then that saves you having to empty the container at all. So by using that just gets rid of any of the issues when it comes to the tumble dryer not drying when it's full. I just thought I'd quickly show you around the back of the dryer. I know for some of you it's not too relevant because there's not a huge amount to connect, but you've just got the mains connection at the top left here. Really what I wanted to show you was where the drain hose connected. It's just at the bottom here, so all you need to do is just take that panel off. There's just one screw at the top there, then that comes off, and then all you need to do is to attach the drain hose at the bottom here, pop into a drain outlet, and away you go. Just show you the bottom of the dryer. This is where the condenser unit is located. Now on some tumble dryers you take the condenser unit out. You don't tend to on this one, it's fixed within the dryer, but it is pretty much a self-cleaning condenser. But what you can do is you can take the front off, so if you want to get rid of any fluff or lint or anything that's built up on the front there, then at least you've got access to it. And then to put that back on, then you just put that on. You've got a couple of magnets on the front here, and then that just holds that in place. There are a couple of other programs on here. So something I didn't mention, you've got things like the drying level. So if you wanted to change the drying level for some of the programs, you've got that on here. Delicate option, and then you've got the anti-crease as well. So the anti-crease is a good option for if you're going to use things like the time delay, or the delay start as they call it. Then what you don't want to do is you don't want to have everything sat there for too long after it's finished the drying process, and anti-crease can really help with that. And then you've got the start and pause on the right hand side there. If you're thinking of buying one of these dryers, I have provided a link below to show you where to get one at a competitive price. I hope you enjoyed this quick video on the Sharp KD NHH9S8GW3-EN condenser heat pump tumble dryer. Now again, as I said at the beginning of the video, there's no way I'm going to try and remember that number, that model number. I'm not quite sure why some manufacturers decide that they need to make the model numbers so long, and then some other manufacturers, the model numbers on the products are really short, which is always ideal for me, because it's I get a bit older and I'm not quite as good at remembering model numbers as it used to be. But anyway, hope you enjoyed the video. All I'd normally say is please subscribe to my YouTube channel, just give us a quick thumbs up. I always ask for comments on the video, whether it's good or bad. If there's something you wanted to know but I've not told you, then just pop it in the comments as a question and I'll get back to you. Anyway, thanks for watching.